let the beat do the talking. Indeed, you know how we do with Shakes Ngwenya, a legend at the club. The Motsepe era started with you, Shake, one of the first marquee signings of the Motsepe era.
Mamela, Mjaka. I always say that namhlanje ngiphethe izinja zamampela ke. I think he was number one. He was the best one.
Yeah, we wanted to clear the air. We wanted to clear the air. Yeah. Sayolanda, Masandawana. Where to fetch deep. Eh? He used to have dreadlocks. You might not recognize him in the pictures because he had dreadlocks at the time. When he was sporting in the Sundowns colors, and Bafana, of course. Pushbacks as well. But here we're focusing on Sundowns and what he's done for the club and what he sees. Clement Mazibuko. Umsheke uthe i-legends zodwa baba.
Bheka Mjaka, ngilethela ama-last number bro, ama-last number. Izinja ze-game. Skillful guys, skillful guys that played the game.
Masandawana cannot complain. They cannot complain about this one. But Clement, we are history in the making over here. Chasing the second star. Some teams had to wait 30 years to be in this position. But Sundowns, last final 2016, here we are again with an opportunity, massive opportunity to score that early goal. Romain Folz was here, Clement, and he said, he was a former assistant at Sundowns. He said Sundowns have to be aggressive. Tina says Shushan and Piano, Clement.
Firstly, thank you for having me on your show. And I think he's right. I think we should be aggressive going there. It's not going to be an easy game. And we know those North African countries, they're always aggressive. So if you go pound to pound in terms of that with them, I think they're going to crack. And with Sundowns playing this kind of matches, they always come top. So I guess they always give their best, considering that it's an away game. And like I said earlier, with North African teams, they're always aggressive. So if you give them a taste of their medicine, at some point they will crack.
And Shege, they will be expecting Shushan and Piano. It will be something quite surprising if Cardoso says, here's a surprise, we're going aggressive full on.
Yeah, you know what? I think obviously it's in our DNA, the Shushan and Piano. But you know what? This is crunch time. It's the final, we need to come with a different element, we need to show that aggression, we need to show that we want it. It's not going to be easy. These guys, we're playing them away from home, and we saw what they did at home. They came to us as well. They didn't sit back and relax and say we will deal with them at home. So I think we also have what it takes to play them in their background and beat them, But I think what's going to be very crucial is how Cardoso sets up. I think that will determine how we do in the game. If he gets it right with his lineup and his substitutes, I think we have what it takes to make it through.
Clement is here. He's going to share his starting 11. He's going to give us his score prediction as well. So stick around for that. Shakes and him are also going to dial back to the good old days. Shakes has been curious about something about Clement. Zwane should start. A lot of fans are saying that Zwane must start. This is the type of game where you need Umshishi. This is the type of game you need Umshishi to step up and save the team and carry the hopes of the team. Cardoso doesn't seem like he's ready to throw Zwane in the deep end.
Ash, that's a very good one actually, and I'd like to concur with you when it comes to that. I mean, talking about Themba Zwane, I mean, we all know what he's capable of, and he's a seasonal player, and there's a very big name. I mean, having him in the field, I mean, it's heavy on its own. You understand, and his presence in the field will intimidate those guys, and they know what he's capable of. So I think in games like this, we really need a player like him. He's very experienced. He's done that a lot. He's been, I think, with the team since we got the first star. So he's clued up in terms of how to win the matches and all the stuff. So his presence in the field is very vital, if I can say.
Kuzohlala bani again, Shege, because it doesn't seem like even Mangoba didn't have a space for Matthews and Zwane. Kuzohlala bani ke Shege if Zwane does start indeed.
Yeah. No, if Zwane does start when Chaga, Saleh can sit on the bench and come on, as we know what Saleh can do, but I think it takes a lot of time also to come into the game sometimes. Sometimes he's good as an impact player coming on from the bench. So if there's somebody I'd have to sacrifice, it's him, because I think Jaden is going to be very important to have him in the midfield there to help Allende and Mokoena as well, because we saw on that first leg that those guys they were dominating us in the middle of the field, when before Jaden came in. So I thought it was the right choice by Cardoso to make that substitute, but unfortunately I don't think Matthews was the right person to come out. I think Saleh was the one who was supposed to be sacrificed, So yeah, I think if Mshishi starts, Saleh can be on the bench. Or, for me, Mjaga, I'm not saying Mshishi must start, but at some stage he must come on, because it's somebody who can put his foot on the ball, and give us control of the game. So especially in that first game, after we just scored, I thought we needed somebody like him to put his foot on the ball, and give us that control. Like Clement is saying now, just his presence on the field does a lot for the team, and it would have brought the crowd, that was at Loftus, it would have made, it would have confused those opponents if Mshishi came in. But now playing away from home, I'm not sure if he's ready to start, but definitely to play a part in the game, I believe so.
I think let's start from the attack. To solve this situation that we've got here, because I think that's where the biggest headache for Cardoso is at. It's up front. Who starts? How many do you start? How do you start? Are you trying to keep the ball? Are you trying to go direct? There's so many variations. So I'm gonna leave it to you, to give advice to Cardoso. How would you start this? How would you start this game, the Pyramids game? Who's been in the starting 11?
Firstly, I would say I will go for the very mobile players, with the very mobile players, especially up front. I'll go with Shalulile, which
Renas.
is
Okay.
Renas and Shalulile. They both are very mobile, and one thing that I've noticed with especially in the North African teams, they can get tired, and with the inclusion of Zwane there between them, a player who can use both those players in a very positive way. I would go with Shalulile, Renas, and with Ribeiro as well. So those front three for me, it's very vital. And we can get a lot out of them. we can get a lot from them in terms of make them uncomfortable, force them to make mistakes there at the back. So with those three, I think we're very capable of getting that, And now in the midfield, I would say yes, Allende, for me, is my all-time favorite. I don't want to lie. I think he's something else. And from day one, when I first saw him, I thought, wow, this is the kind of a player that Sundowns need. And I'll go with him. And also, I think Mokoena deserves to be there. Start with Mokoena, and probably at the back.
Who's the third one in midfield?
Mshishi, yes, I'll put Mshishi. Then probably Mshishi is definitely there for me. Is definitely there for me with Mokoena and Allende that play with three, and At the back, I'll go with maybe Mudau on the right. At the back, maybe Kekana for me. And Libusa, for me, I think Libusa is underrated, but I think he's a very good player. For me, is a very good player. So yeah, and Lunga.
And Lunga has really come through in the CAF Champions League at some stages, really coming big because the left back position was problematic for a period, Clement. I mean, we've had 5 players play there, why are you going for him specifically?
One, I would say, I think you've mentioned earlier. For me, as you say, I think on a CAF, if you check all the games on CAF away, he's been doing very well. I think home, yes. I don't know if Shakes will agree with me. I don't want to say. I think at times you've got those players, City. I'm a player was a Jimini, but in his case, I think at home he's not as comfortable as when he's outside. I don't know if it's pressure or not, but Africa has given us his best so far.
I like that. I really like that. Shege, is your lineup?
No, I'm happy with Clement's lineup, because it shows that we want to win and we have to win that game. We have to go in with that mindset that we're going to win the game. And that starting lineup speaks to us, wanting to win the game, We always talk about this, Umjaka, on the show that the RR Lapa up front, we want to see Reyners and Ribeiro and Shalulile. And Clement has put that lineup up front there, because Ushalulile always works better when Reyners is there. When Reyners does those runs, he creates space for Shalulile, and they are both hard-working players. They can track back as well, which is what we're going to need playing away from home. So definitely I'm with Clement with that lineup.
Yeah, I think they definitely do that for each other. In this Betway Beat episode, we've got Clement Mazibuko, Sundowns legend, hanging out with his former teammate here, Shege, Ngwenya, of course. They share a special bond. They were part of that group, that first group in the Mutsepe era to join Sundowns. So the revolution began with them. The fruits of the labor are being enjoyed by the current generation now. But these are the men who stomped those grounds to make sure, they were ready for this generation. Shege, I see the starting 11. Of course, we've got Ronza in goals. We are guaranteed there. Yes, we must go toe-to-toe. Clement says we must go toe-to-toe, aggressive, match them to see what they're made of. Because, you must test them. Because they come out first, as Clement said. They come out first and go aggressive. Clement, this gentleman here had some questions for you. He said he's got top secret conversations that he wants to have with you. He didn't want me to be the one asking this because he said you got money out. And it's sure. So only you two can have this conversation.
Okay.
No, just Clement knows very well when Umjaka that as you've said that we were one of the first players to be signed by Patrice. So that era of the Motsepe era, we were one of the first, and I remember very well Patrice, the president, saying that he wants to conquer Africa. So that was always the mandate. And as we can see, the boys have already done it. There's a star on that jersey. And we are on the verge now again of getting that second star. So what I'd like to ask Clement is, what does he think about this current squad? If you had to compare it to our squad, the squad that was there, the likes of your Surprise Moriri, the likes of your Clement, Giftly Remy, all those guys. Like what would you say if you have to compare the two squads?
Sure. No, that's That's a tough one. That's a tough one. But yeah, you know, we've laid the foundation for the club, and in terms of its success, and which I'm proud and to be a part of that. And yeah, coming to Sundowns, then we've always had like equality. Quality has always been there, and if Shakes will concur with me, you know, in one position we'll have at least 4 other quality players that you share the position with. So it's just been crazy. It's just been crazy. But yes, I believe we were a good side, very good side, and a very individually we had a lot of good players. But now, when you look at the current team, I would say the current team is better than us. Why I'm saying that, I think in terms of what they've achieved, you know, we did a lot. We had our fair chance of doing that, and we did great. Don't get me wrong, we did great. But I think the only difference is that they did that. They took it to another level to play internationally, and they conquered internationally. We did that locally. Yes, we were still trying to find our feet in Africa. If you remember, we went in Africa, but we didn't do that much. So I'd say the current squad, I think they are better compared to our generation in that sense.
Does anyone from your generation make the starting 11 here? Just how many maybe get, let's say, have a chance?
There's no one who's got a left footer like Shaggy's there.
That's what I'm thinking, Clement. I'm thinking they don't have left footers in this team, boss.
No.
I can't make it.
No. And yeah. And for me, I think the left footers have always been, they've always been special. And on a serious note, I think Shakes will make it, and I think Siaka Tiene would as well.
Siaka, yeah.
Siaka Tiene was, he was a very, very good left footer as well. And yeah, I so wish at times, a couple of the players from that generation are so wish if they were like at their 20s this time around, they will definitely make the team. They will definitely make the team.
I love that. I love it when you connect the generations like this. It was a great question. It was a good one, Shag, because you put him on the spot to make a big decision. And indeed, we have to respect. We have to respect what these guys have done.
Yeah, no, I think Clement really answered that question well, I believe with our generation, we had a lot of quality individuals, but this team today, if you put it as a team, they're definitely achieving more, and they are doing more,
I'm going to give you one more, Mshege, before we sign out. One more burning question you're always itching to ask. He made notes, but Clement, he's like, no, this one is not getting away from me.
You know what? Clement was one of those people who were crowd pullers, very skillful on the field. What do you think, Clement? Now we watch football these days, and the game, sometimes, man, the game can be sore to the eye, man. We don't have those individual players. I remember there was a time when you were playing, I think you were at Sundowns and Scapi was at Amazulu, and you guys, Scapi was just turning it on, and you were turning it on for Sundowns. So it was like the one guy from Mvuta against the other guy from Mvuta. And that game was so interesting because of just the two of you guys. Every time you got it, you gave us something in terms of flair. And we hardly seeing that in our football now. Why do you think that's the case?
That's a tough one, my brother. That's a tough one. But, I always refer to Brazil when it comes to flair. And I believe we also have a flair that should be our identity, or it's always been our identity. So for one to be restricted on doing such, I feel like it's very unfair. Well, yes, if football has evolved and coaches come, especially from Europe and all the stuff, and they believe when they come this side, I so wish they can just add from what we have. If it's a question of globalizing football or to keep up with the modern football, just add from what we have, and you become special like that. So I think we've been minimized when it comes to that. We're no longer expressing ourselves the way we were meant to be. And funny enough, not that too long from, I think 2 hours earlier, I think we spoke, me and you earlier, about me having an interview with one of the stations. And the question that came up was the nicknames. And why are we no longer having the nicknames and all the stuff? But I was like, you know what? Then I think with us having a skill and all the stuff, it's the nicknames that we used to get, they resonated with the whole lot of things that was happening emalokishini and all the stuff, and people will relate better. But now these days, obviously, with the football that is being evolving and all the stuff, now we've got the Messis and all the stuff, and your child, the player will be named after Messi and all the stuff. So because we no longer we don't have our own, our own is that there's hardly, like yesterday, you can hardly find umntana bambiza because then, like I say, we were resonating with what was happening. Bozothola bophinda mzala abo Mgabate, those, because they were relating to those people. But now we can't relate. Yes, Messi is good in Annan, but do we really interact? We resonate. We don't know what is happening in their lives and all stuff, especially where they're coming from. So I think what is happening in our country, we should be telling stories through our we should express ourselves through what we experience in the locations. So I think we've lost it when it comes to that.
And finally, when Clement, you speak about Brazil, who are currently not doing well at all as well, because I think they've lost that identity, of who they are. They started also doing things that are done in England or wherever, I don't know, but we all know what Brazil has and the flair, but we don't see it anymore. We are just seeing Vinicius and his Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And Rafinha. It's a game. It's a game of athletes. It's a game of athletes now. Yeah.
It's very sad. It's very sad. So I think the coaches should just allow you to be who you are, and yes, add on what you are capable of.
I'm Shege. And as I think I'm a my kulma so. That's when you shut it down. Hey, my kulma so. The coach must just let you be. Proclaim, as you say, it's indeed an honor for the Sundowns family. The Yellow Nation is probably super, super happy to hear from you. When you said the video to wish the boys good luck, it was well received. So we look forward to another video that you're going to send to us. Before we go, score prediction and what you would say to the Sundowns fans and, of course, to the players if they gave you an opportunity now and they get to see this. Maybe they're going to watch this on their way to Egypt,
The only thing that I want to say, I know definitely that we're going to bring the trophy back home. And if I could predict the score, we always break their hearts with 1 goal. That's a champion score. We always win. We're going to give it just 1. That hits like really at the bottom of their heart. But yeah, I think we're gonna win 1-0. And it's been a work in progress. We've been wanting this second star, and I think this is a high time that we're gonna get the star.
No, super great. Mshege, your prediction before we go?
Yeah, I think I'll go with Clement. We'll clap them with that heartbreak one goal like they did with us. That equalizer hit Umjaka last minute of the game.
Yeah,
I think we're also gonna hit them like that. Just one goal right at the end, boom, and we take that star.
Yeah.
We can't wait to have you back again, Clement, to delve deeper, especially in that. So I think that's a soul-searching conversation that we must have about the lack of nicknames and adoration for our players, the connection to the players that are doing well. It seems like as the generation have gone, we've lost that, and we need that back. So maybe you might be the catalyst to that, inspire that back into the fans. So let's continue to have this conversation. Mshege, kwezekahliza nomuntu wase-right wena muntu wase-left waza nowase-right.
Siya-attack.
Balance equation.
Siyabonga bafethu.
No,
Yizo lezi. Tabuyile.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bob.